Think success is just about being lucky? Well, let me tell you a story that'll make you see things differently. It's the true story of Steve Harvey, a man who went from sleeping in his car to living one of the most glamorous lives in Hollywood. You may know him as the sharply dressed host of Family Feud, or the voice behind countless jokes that leave audiences in stitches. But the man behind the mic? His journey is anything but funny. Before the bright lights and the millions, Steve Harvey had nothing. No fame, no fortune. Just a broken-down car to sleep in and public gas stations to clean up in. He hit rock bottom. Hard. So how did this man, once broke and homeless, become a comedy icon, a household name, and a self-made millionaire with an empire stretching across TV, books, and business? Let's rewind the clock and uncover a story of grit, rejection, and the kind of determination that doesn't quit. Steve Harvey didn't grow up in privilege. Far from it. His beginnings were humble, tough even. Born Broderick Stephen Harvey on January 17, 1957, in the tiny town of Welch, West Virginia, he grew up in a working-class family. His father, Jesse, worked long hours as a coal miner. His mother, Eloise, was a school teacher, strict, loving, and determined to see her kids do better. Eventually, the family moved to Cleveland, Ohio, where young Steve spent most of his childhood. But things weren't easy there either. He stuttered badly and was mocked constantly by classmates. To the world, he was just another kid from the block. But inside, Steve had a dream, and it was loud. One day in school, his teacher asked the class to write down what they wanted to be when they grew up. While other kids scribbled down answers like doctor or teacher, Steve had the nerve to write, "I want to be on TV." And that's when it happened. The teacher didn't just laugh, she humiliated him. She called his dream impossible. She tore up his paper in front of the class and even called his parents, saying their son was delusional and full of himself. His mother was heartbroken. But his father? He saw something different. He told Steve to write that dream down again, on a piece of paper, and this time, keep it. Tape it to the wall, read it every morning and every night. "Don't let anybody take this dream from you," he told him. Years later, when Steve made it big, he never forgot that teacher. Every Christmas, he sent her a brand new TV with a simple note, "Still on TV." After high school, Steve bounced around college. Kent State, then West Virginia University. But nothing stuck. He wasn't built for classrooms or lectures. He wanted more. So he quit school and started chasing life. He took whatever jobs he could. Mailman, insurance agent, carpet cleaner, even a boxer. But money was always tight, really tight. For 3 years, he lived out of his 1976 Ford Tempo, scraping by on odd gigs and praying for a break. Some nights he didn't even know where his next meal would come from. He showered at gas stations, kept his suits in the back seat, and hustled every single day just to survive. And still, he didn't give up. Then came the night that would change everything. October 8th, 1985. Hilarity's Comedy Club, Cleveland, Ohio. A 28-year-old Steve Harvey nervously stepped on stage for his very first stand-up performance. He got paid just $50, but he didn't care. That one set, that one moment, it lit a fire in him. A fire that would never go out. He had found his calling, and he knew it. Of course, the road from that first gig to superstardom wasn't paved in gold. There were plenty more failures, rejections, and empty pockets ahead. But something had shifted. He had found what made him come alive. From that point on, it was a slow climb, but a steady one. One performance led to another, one opportunity opened the door to the next, and eventually the world couldn't ignore him anymore. Today, Steve Harvey is more than a comedian. He's a brand, a mogul, a force of nature, hosting hit TV shows, writing best-selling books, mentoring entrepreneurs, and inspiring millions around the world. But none of it came easy. He didn't get there by luck or by chance. He earned every bit of it, through pain, through hustle, and through an unshakable belief that he was meant for more.
So the next time someone tells you your dream is too big, remember Steve Harvey. Because success isn't about where you start. It's about how far you're willing to go to keep climbing. Imagine this. For 3 long years, Steve Harvey lived out of a beat-up 1976 Ford. Not exactly the Hollywood lifestyle, right? He showered in gas stations and public pools, survived on cheap sandwiches, and drove from town to town chasing comedy gigs that barely paid enough to keep gas in the tank. There were nights so cold and lonely, he thought about giving up. But every time doubt crept in, he'd whisper the same promise he made as a kid. I have to be on TV. That dream kept him going. And just when it seemed like he couldn't take much more, help came from the most unexpected place. A kind-hearted couple, Rich and Becky Liss, saw something in Steve, something real. They believed in him. They gave him a carpet cleaning contract and let them use their credit to travel to gigs. They didn't do it for fame. They did it because they saw a man with raw talent and relentless drive. Years later, with tears in his eyes and millions watching, Steve called Rich live on air. "I'll never forget what you did for me." And he meant it. By 1990, after grinding for years on tiny stages and half-empty clubs, Steve Harvey finally got his shot. He entered the Johnny Walker National Comedy Search, a huge competition that spotlighted rising stand-up stars. And Steve, he crushed it. His quick wit, sharp delivery, and electric presence got him all the way to the finals. That moment didn't just win him applause, it got the attention of big-time producers. It opened the door to his first major TV gig, hosting It's Showtime at the Apollo. For any comedian, that stage is legendary. Harlem's Apollo Theater has made and broken careers. Now it was Steve's turn under those historic lights, and he owned it. Week after week, he brought charisma, confidence, and comedic gold to the show, earning fans across the country. That Apollo spotlight became a launch pad. In 1994, Steve landed the lead role in the ABC sitcom Me and the Boys, a heartfelt comedy about a single dad raising 3 sons. It only lasted 1 season, but it proved something important. Steve Harvey wasn't just funny. He could act, and he had heart. Then came The Steve Harvey Show, which ran from 1996 to 2002 on the WB. Steve played a former funk musician turned high school teacher, and the show hit home. It resonated deeply, especially with Black audiences, blending laughs with lessons on life, love, and education. It turned him into a household name. But Steve wasn't finished yet.
In 1997, Steve joined forces with 3 other comedy giants, Cedric the Entertainer, D.L. Hughley, and Bernie Mac. Together, they launched a nationwide comedy tour, the Kings of Comedy. At first, no one expected much, but what happened next? Comedy history. Their chemistry was electric. The jokes were sharp, fearless, and real. Crowds went wild. In its first year, the tour brought in $18 million. The next year, $19 million. It became the highest-grossing stand-up tour of all time. Even director Spike Lee took notice. In 2000, he turned the tour into a documentary, The Original Kings of Comedy. The film introduced millions to the raw, unfiltered brilliance of these 4 legends and elevated Steve Harvey's career to a whole new level. By now, Steve had conquered TV and stand-up, but he wasn't done inspiring people. He turned to the written word, writing best-selling books that blended humor with powerful life lessons. With titles like Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, Steve offered more than just advice. He shared hard-earned wisdom. His books spoke to people looking for purpose, love, and direction. His style was real, straight up, and often hilarious. But underneath every story and joke was a message. You can build the life you want if you're willing to fight for it. Steve Harvey didn't stumble into success. He climbed, crawled, and clawed his way up with heart, hustle, and an unshakable belief in his dream.
From sleeping in his car to standing on the world's biggest stages, he's proof that where you start doesn't define where you end up. And maybe, just maybe, his story is the reminder we all need that our biggest setbacks might just be setting us up for something greater. When Steve Harvey published Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man in 2009, no one knew it was about to spark a global conversation. But almost overnight, it exploded, not just as a best-selling book, but as a full-blown cultural moment. Harvey didn't just offer dating advice. He cracked open the male mind and showed women how men really think about love, relationships, and commitment. With a mix of humor, honesty, and real-life wisdom, he helped millions of women feel empowered, not just in dating, but in life. He gave them the tools to take control of their relationships, set better standards, and stop settling. The book's success was so massive, Hollywood couldn't ignore it. By 2012, Think Like a Man hit the big screen, and it was a box office knockout, grossing over $96 million. That movie didn't just entertain, it cemented Steve Harvey's reputation as a modern-day relationship guru and a master of communication. But Steve wasn't done. His next book, Straight Talk No Chaser, dug even deeper into the male psyche, offering women an unfiltered look at how men think, love, and act. It was straight-up real talk, just like the title promised. Then came Act Like a Success, Think Like a Success, a personal growth playbook for anyone stuck in a rut, looking to break free, level up, and build a life they're proud of. And then Jump, one of his most personal and inspirational works yet. In it, Steve urges readers to stop playing it safe and take that leap of faith, to chase what really sets their soul on fire. Because, in his words, you can't live your best life if you never jump. His books became more than just bestsellers. They became lifelines. With each one, Steve poured his personal stories, life lessons, and bold philosophies onto the page. And people listened. They read. They changed. The result? Millions of copies sold, major publishing deals, movie adaptations, and another powerful layer added to the Steve Harvey brand. Over more than 30 years in entertainment, Steve Harvey has done what few ever do. He stayed relevant, reinvented himself, and kept winning. And the proof? It's in the long list of awards and honors that follow his name. In 2013, Steve reached a career-defining milestone, a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That moment didn't just honor his work, it celebrated the journey. From sleeping in his car to seeing his name etched on the sidewalk among legends, that star wasn't just for Steve, it was for every underdog watching. That same year, he also took home the Marconi Award, radio's highest honor, as Network Syndicated Personality of the Year. He'd win it again in 2015, solidifying his reign in yet another medium. And then there's his domination on TV. Thanks to his electric hosting style on Family Feud, Harvey has racked up 7 Daytime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Game Show Host, with wins in 2014, 2017, and 2022 among them. His blend of charm, wit, and quick comebacks made him one of the most beloved hosts in daytime TV. But it wasn't just about games.
Steve's talk shows, Steve Harvey and Steve, earned him 4 more Daytime Emmys for Outstanding Talk Show Host between 2014 and 2018. Whether it was making people laugh, cry, or rethink their entire lives, Steve had a way of connecting with his audience that few could match. Within the African American community, Steve Harvey's impact has been even more profound. Over the years, he's won a stunning 11 NAACP Image Awards, an honor that celebrates cultural excellence and meaningful contributions. He was named Best Actor in a Comedy Series 4 years in a row, 1999 to 2002, for The Steve Harvey Show, and Best Comedy Series as a producer 3 times, 2000 to 2002. That show didn't just entertain, it inspired a generation of viewers who saw themselves reflected on screen. Books, movies, TV, radio, live tours. Steve Harvey didn't just dip his toe into every corner of entertainment, he owned it. And more importantly, he used every platform he touched to lift others up. Whether it was helping people understand love, chase success, or simply believe in themselves, Steve Harvey's message has always been clear.
You are not limited by where you start. You're only limited by how hard you're willing to work to get where you're going. In 2001, Steve Harvey wasn't just entertaining audiences, he was making history. That year, he was named Entertainer of the Year, a title that marked just how deeply he'd impacted pop culture. But what truly sets Steve apart is that his influence stretches far beyond the stage and screen. He's not just about punchlines and applause, he's about purpose. In 2011, Harvey received the BET Humanitarian Award, a prestigious honor recognizing individuals who give back and uplift their communities. That same passion for service earned him another unforgettable tribute just a few years later. In 2015, his hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, renamed East 112th Street to Steve Harvey Way, a powerful salute to the kid who came from humble beginnings and never forgot where he came from. Harvey's work hasn't gone unnoticed in the world of education either. In 2016, he was awarded an honorary doctorate from Alabama State University, cementing his role not just as an entertainer, but as a motivator and mentor. So, how rich is Steve Harvey? Let's be real, rich doesn't even begin to cover it. As of 2023, Steve Harvey's estimated net worth hit a jaw-dropping $280 million. That's not just money, it's empire-building wealth. And Steve didn't get there by sticking to one lane. He's a master at diversifying. He pulls in $40 to $50 million every year from a wide spread of platforms: TV, radio, books, business ventures, and more. Radio royalty. One of his biggest cash cows? The Steve Harvey Morning Show, which alone brings in $20 million a year. That's how you know he runs the radio game. TV titan. Then there's Family Feud. As host, Harvey pulls in around $10 million annually, and with around 200 episodes per season, his per-episode rate reportedly ranges between $20,000 to $100,000. It's no wonder that Feud remains one of his most consistent moneymakers. But he doesn't stop at game shows. He's hosted the Miss Universe pageant, produced and starred in Judge Steve Harvey on ABC, and has his hand in multiple business investments, all of which stack on to his empire.
Let's not forget the publishing game. In 2009, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man turned into a cultural movement, and its film adaptation brought in a stunning $96 million at the box office. That was just the beginning. Other titles like Straight Talk, No Chaser, 2010, Act Like a Success, 2014, and Jump, 2016, added millions more to his fortune. Each book built on his image not just as an entertainer, but as a thought leader who knows how to motivate and inspire. In 2017, Harvey took things to another level with the launch of Steve Harvey Global, SHG, his official business entity that oversees all of his ventures. Under SHG, he runs East 112, his production company, Harvey Events, which organizes large-scale entertainment experiences, and international rights to Family Feud, including versions across Africa. And his empire doesn't stop there. He's been involved in ventures like the online dating site Delightful, co-producing Little Big Shots with Ellen DeGeneres, and hosting the Sand and Soul Festival, a high-end event full of music, laughter, and fan experiences. But Harvey's journey hasn't been all red carpets and luxury. In a candid 2023 interview with Shannon Sharpe, he revealed that after his divorce from Mary Shackelford in 2005, he was left with just $1,700 in his bank account. Add in 7 years of unpaid taxes and interest, and Harvey found himself facing a financial disaster. Most people would have folded. Steve? He rebuilt from the ground up and came back even stronger. By late 2024, his net worth was estimated around $200 million. While slightly down from his 2023 peak, that number hardly tells the full story, because Steve Harvey isn't slowing down. He's still hosting hit shows, launching new businesses, and creating opportunities for others to thrive. And through it all, he's maintained a level of luxury that few in the industry can match. Private jets, custom-tailored suits, mansions that look like movie sets, exotic vacations. Steve Harvey lives large, but he earned every square foot, every designer stitch, and every moment under the spotlight.
From broke and homeless to a multi-industry mogul with a street named after him, Steve Harvey is more than a success story. He's living proof that with grit, heart, and vision, you can build something unstoppable. There was a time when Steve Harvey was sleeping in the front seat of an old Ford Tempo, shivering through cold nights with barely enough money for food. Fast forward to today, and his life couldn't be more different. Now, he walks through marble halls in multi-million-dollar estates, surrounded by gold accents, floor-to-ceiling windows, and more luxury than most people ever dream of. Gone are the days of worrying about the electric bill. Today, Harvey drops serious cash on custom-tailored suits, diamond-studded watches, and a fleet of luxury cars that look more like art pieces than vehicles. But out of all his riches, what stands out the most? Let's start with the crown jewel of his real estate empire. Tucked away in the greenery of Atlanta, Georgia, is a home that looks like it was plucked straight from a royal fairy tale. This isn't just a mansion, it's a palatial estate. Spread across 17 private acres of land, it's one of the largest and most elite properties in the region.
Inspired by the grandeur of the Palace of Versailles, this 35,000 square foot mega mansion was built in 2007 and features a grand double staircase under a crystal chandelier, 7 luxurious bedrooms, and 14 opulent bathrooms. Cathedral-style ceilings, a spa-worthy indoor pool, and even a private movie theater. A massive wine cellar fit for a connoisseur. An infinity pool with panoramic views of the forest and skyline. Tennis courts and lush, manicured gardens. The estate was previously owned by Tyler Perry, who sold it for $17.5 million. But in 2020, Harvey snagged it for $15 million. Expensive? Absolutely. But for a home like this, every penny shows. Before Atlanta, Harvey also lived the high life in Chicago, literally. His penthouse in the iconic Trump International Hotel and Tower sat on the 88th floor, offering jaw-dropping views of the city in Lake Michigan. With 19-foot ceilings, floor-to-ceiling windows, and 5 spa-like bathrooms, the 500-square-foot penthouse screamed luxury. It also included 3 spacious bedrooms, a chef's kitchen with black stone counters and state-of-the-art appliances, 3 fireplaces for that perfect mix of warmth and class. Steve bought the place in 2013 and sold it in 2018, walking away with a cool $7.7 million profit. Steve didn't stop there. For a time, he also lived in a lavish Beverly Hills estate, where the rent alone was a jaw-dropping $125,000 per month. Spread across nearly 2 acres, the 11,000-square-foot property included 5 luxurious bedrooms, 8 stylish bathrooms, a 3-bedroom guest house, a grand dining room that seated 12, a glowing outdoor pool, and serene gardens. And that chef's kitchen? Let's just say the blue-themed appliances alone made a statement. Steve Harvey's transformation from a beat-up Ford to a jaw-dropping garage is straight out of a movie. Cars for him aren't just transportation, they're trophies. Each one tells a story. Some standouts from his collection include a 1941 Cadillac convertible worth $95,000, a classic gem rarely seen today, preserved to perfection. A Rolls-Royce Phantom 8 valued at $550,000, an ultra-luxurious ride fit for royalty, blending power and elegance. A Bentley Mulsanne, gifted to his wife Marjorie for her 59th birthday, worth $305,000. A stunning Rolls-Royce Phantom drop-head coupe, gifted to Marjorie for her 50th, a $500,000 statement of love and luxury. An iconic Chevy Bel Air and a rugged Ford F-150, rounding out the collection with vintage charm and everyday power. Each car in Harvey's garage isn't just a vehicle, it's a chapter in his story of success. Harvey doesn't just live large, he dresses large too. With the help of stylist Ellie Carameau, Steve has turned his wardrobe into a fashion statement all its own. His style? Bold, luxurious, never boring. Take his head-to-toe green Bottega Veneta outfit, for example. That $2,600 coat made headlines in memes as fans compared him to a comic book villain in the best way. His fashion splurges include a $3,000 Dior turtleneck,
part of a collection designed by Ghanaian artist Amawako Boa, $3,000 crocodile boots from Tom Ford, $4,600 Gucci leather pants worn on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and a stunning $7,300 Berluti coat in deep purple. But his love for luxury doesn't stop at clothes. Harvey is a huge fan of high-end watches, which he considers a personal symbol of achievement. Whether it's a Rolex, a Patek Philippe, or something custom-made, his timepieces are as bold as his rise to fame. What makes Steve Harvey's lifestyle so captivating isn't just the wealth, it's where he came from. From a man who had nothing to a man who built everything. From sleeping in his car to owning homes that look like castles. From scraping by to spoiling his wife with $500,000 gifts and stepping on stage in head-turning couture. Every suit, every car, every mansion is more than just luxury. It's a reminder that dreams do come true when you refuse to give up.
Steve Harvey didn't just build a fortune, he built a legacy, driven by hustle, faith, and the fearless pursuit of greatness. Steve Harvey's watch collection isn't just about telling time, it tells his story. Every piece on his wrist is more than a fashion choice. It's a bold statement of success, personality, and class. One of his standout favorites? A stunning Rolex Day-Date, crafted in 18-karat gold glittering with diamonds and rubies, worth a cool $150,000. But hold on, that's just the warm-up. Among his most jaw-dropping timepieces is the Rolex Rainbow Daytona, a rare masterpiece made from yellow gold with a bezel set in a spectrum of multicolored gemstones. This isn't just a watch, it's wearable art. Price tag? Around $190,000. But the crown jewel of his collection? That honor goes to the Roger Dubois Excalibur Knights of the Round Table. Made with rose gold, embedded with 33 rubies, and secured with a blue alligator leather strap, this watch is limited to only 28 pieces in the world, and it'll set you back $300,000. To Steve, these aren't just luxury accessories. They're emblems of resilience, ambition, and ultimate achievement. Every timepiece is part of the legacy he's building. But Steve Harvey's taste for the finer things goes way beyond wristwatches. When it comes to celebrating milestones, he goes full throttle, opting for private yachts that rival five-star resorts. Each year for his birthday, Steve doesn't just throw a party, he sails into luxury. One unforgettable trip took him, his wife Marjorie, and their 7 children on a private voyage through Italy aboard the Sea Lion, a 200-foot yacht dripping in elegance and custom entertainment features. The cost? $340,000 a week. And yes, that's just the rental. Then came 2021, when Harvey decided to level up even further, cruising aboard the Siren Novus Grug, a 240-foot super yacht with room for 12 guests, a private movie theater, a jacuzzi, and all the amenities you'd expect from a floating palace. That 7-day escape cost him $510,000. But the most extravagant trip of all? For his 65th birthday, Steve chartered a course through the Bahamas aboard the legendary Seven Seas, a 282-foot super yacht formerly owned by Steven Spielberg. With 9 cabins, space for 20 guests, and a full crew of 28, this experience topped them all. The cost of that week-long escape? An eye-watering $1.3 million. For most, it sounds unbelievable. For Steve Harvey, it's the reward of relentless hard work. Behind the glitz and glamour, Steve Harvey's personal life has been as dramatic as his professional rise. His journey through 3 marriages, 7 children, and countless ups and downs reads like a Hollywood movie. Steve's first marriage was with Marcia Harvey, who supported him during the grind of his early career. They had 3 kids, twin daughters Brandy and Carly, and a son, Broderick Jr. As his fame grew, the pressures pulled them apart, leading to divorce. Still, he remains close to his kids, especially Carly, who later made him a grandfather. His second marriage to Mary Shackelford brought him a son named Winton. But the marriage didn't last. Their 2005 divorce made headlines, marked with accusations and controversy.
While the relationship ended on shaky terms, Steve has always stayed active in Winton's life, supporting his dreams in fashion and photography. Then came Marjorie, the woman Steve credits for changing everything. He first saw her walk into a comedy club back in 1990. He stopped mid-performance and said, "I don't know who she is, but I'm going to marry her." Fate had other plans then, but they reconnected over a decade later, and in 2007, they made it official. Marrying Marjorie didn't just bring love, it brought purpose. She had 3 kids from a previous relationship, Lori, Morgan, and Jason, whom Steve adopted as his own. Together, they formed a beautifully blended family of 7 children, and now 5 grandchildren. Among them, Lori Harvey has become a household name in fashion and pop culture, making headlines for her career and high-profile relationships. Meanwhile, Morgan and Jason are enjoying life with their own families, giving Steve the joy of being papa to a growing brood.
Blending their families wasn't always easy, but as Marjorie once said, "We all came from broken places, but we don't dwell there. We focus on building something better." That belief has become the heartbeat of the Harvey household. Through it all, Steve and Marjorie make time for each other. Whether it's jet-setting to far-off destinations or posting heartfelt tributes on anniversaries, their love is front and center. For their 16th anniversary, they escaped to the stunning shores of Lake Como, Italy, soaking in every romantic moment. In 2023, Steve gave a speech that said it all. "This woman stayed with me when I had nothing. She was loyal while I was rebuilding my life. 85% of what I have today came after I married her." That's the real treasure in Steve Harvey's life. Not the yachts, not the gold watches, not even the sprawling mansions. It's love, family, and the unshakable support that helped him turn dreams into legacy. From a man who once lived in his car to an icon with a multi-million-dollar empire and a heart full of gratitude, Steve Harvey's story isn't just inspirational. It's proof that you can lose it all and come back stronger if you dared to dream, love deeply, and never stop working for what you believe in. All facts shared here come from reliable sources and for entertainment and reference purposes. If this story inspired you, hit like, share, and subscribe for more content that dives deep into the lives of legends.